So first topic we've got for today is Disney blocks Ron DeSantis' Florida power play with a royal family clause. Very interesting. This would be the Disney royal family. I'm not sure this whole. You guys know I don't like to look at these articles until you guys do. So this is pretty interesting. And as you guys know, if you don't know who Ron DeSantis is, he's actually kind of like the runner-up to Donald Trump for the presidency. For the Republicans and everything like that. If Donald Trump doesn't end up running, or if Donald Trump ends up in prison, you already know we're getting into that indictment later, then, Ron DeSantis pretty much will be the next person to win. Pretty much. I mean, obviously, there's, I think, 6 or 7 Republicans that are, on the polls right now for presidency, but Donald Trump is blowing everybody out of the water, and then Ron DeSantis is still up a large amount from the next person, so I'm pretty sure he'll win. And as you know, we're talking about Florida, as Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida. So let's see what it says here. Obviously, here's our beautiful Disney World. Look at it. It looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? It looks amazing. Looks good. So let's see what it says. It says, forget about the Disney princesses. Sorry, Cinderella, you gotta go. Mickey Mouse may have just proved who is the real king of Florida. I thought it was Donald Trump. Ha ha. Just kidding. Just kidding. It says the Walt Disney Company used a legal clause that name checks King Charles III to apparently thwart Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' attempt to strip the company of its self-governance power in the state. And as you guys know, Florida is one of the king countries of tourism, and this is mainly because Disney World. It's pretty much only because of Disney World, and Miami is big, but really Disney World has tons of people coming into it, millions upon millions, if not, of people coming, each week, everything like that. So when you have that type of power, obviously you get a lot of say in the laws. You get a lot of say in the government. If the government knows that, 80 or let's say 70% of the economy comes to tourism and it's because of your company, then you're really going to be able to leverage that in the laws of that state. Now it says for nearly a year, state legislators encouraged by DeSantis have sought to exert more control over the company's Florida-based theme parks by passing a bill that would dissolve Disney's special tax district. That's interesting. Because, you guys know Disney basically is like, it's almost like its own county, with the hotels, all the land that they have, Universal Studios, everything like that. Well, Universal Studios obviously isn't owned by Disney, but you get what I'm saying. Disney is essentially its own very large span and piece of area within Florida. So maybe this means that this area may receive tax benefits or something like that other I guess you could say counties or other states wouldn't have, possibly a special tax. Now it says DeSantis also wanted to rename the area the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District and plant a new board of supervisors to oversee it. Come on now. I know Disney not going for this. Disney is like, hey, this is pretty much, there's Florida and then there's Disney World, and there's that. They're separate. They're very separate. There's Orlando, and then there's everywhere else. You ask people about Florida and they gonna tell you Miami and they gonna tell you Orlando and they gonna pretty much say everywhere else is trash, and I'm not saying that everywhere else is trash, but it's kind of how it is. It's a little bit kind of how it is. I actually, for my job, I drove through all of Florida, pretty much all of Florida, like in a week I drove, and it was a great experience, but I can't say there are a lot of dusty parts of Florida for sure, Fort Lauderdale, don't even get me started, yeah, but shout out to Florida though, shout out to Florida. But, okay, so it says, until recently, there had been no major public discussion about dissolving Disney's long-established special district, which it's occupied for 55 years, leading DeSantis critics to question its timing and speed at which the governor acted against the company. I think it's very interesting that he decided to act against Disney while, you know what I'm saying, running for president. And I feel like that would hurt him. But, you know, Florida's probably definitely going to vote for him, you know. So, because he's the governor in there. And they will like say, you know, our governor, you know, our president comes from Florida, I would assume. Widely seen as the contender, as a contender for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, DeSantis became locked in a bitter and public feud with the entertainment giant over the company's denouncement of the Florida's HB 1557 law last year. Now, this law, it says, dubbed by critics as the don't say, I don't even know if I can say that. Don't say, you know what I'm saying, swing the same way. Don't say swing the same way. I'm crafty, you know, I'm crafty. Limits early education teachings on sexual orientation or gender identity. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay, so this also makes us kind of think about too is I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that they should speak about gender identity and sexual orientation in schools and everything like that? Obviously, hopefully not with the elementary school kids, but I guess this bill limits people from being able to teach about gender identity and sexual orientation, you know what I'm saying, within schools. And while I'm very open to how everyone feels and everything like that, I would say that my stance on it personally is I think that we should kind of leave it out of education. I think sexual education is important, you know, teach kids, you know, about, you know, safe sex and everything, because you already know high school kids gonna do this anyway. So we don't need a whole bunch of pregnancies out there, you know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of me, you know, well, not me, you know, I did not come from, you know, I came from a good home, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying. What I'm basically saying is, you know, you got to teach kids about safe sex and everything like that, or that's going to cause a lot of problems with society. I think that's a good thing. Now, gender identity and orientation to me is different because it's, you know, essentially, I don't want to say it's a choice, you know what I'm saying? Definitely don't, hey, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to go push this notion too far. I don't want to say it's a choice, but that doesn't really have anything to do with the safety. It's kind of like whatever you choose to do or whoever you choose to sleep with, in my opinion, is your own personal thing, and that should all just be behind closed doors. To me, a school is more so a place of education, more of a place of education and more of a place where I would say social issues shouldn't necessarily have their place and everything like that. So I don't really like the idea of that. I don't really like the idea of, people being able to influence your kids and maybe push a narrative on them and everything like that. I think that we should just promote equality and promote, if you do what you want to do what you want to do. Now, I think that maybe in schools it should be okay to say, you know what I'm saying, sexual liberation, maybe be able to say, hey, if you're not straight, that's fine. If you are straight, that's fine. But I don't think that this should be something that is taught about in school because I don't think it's the place for it. But let's continue. Let's continue. And also let me know what you guys think, what you guys' opinion is. Do you guys think that sexual or gender identity and everything like that should be allowed to be taught or really conversed about within a school setting, especially a school with minors? We have to remember these are all minors, people. Now it says Republican State Representative Randy Fine told CNBC's Squawk Box last April that the bill wasn't relatory, but then said when Disney kicked the hornet's nest, we looked at special districts. Now it says while Disney remained quiet on the matter for a matter of months, it seemed the House of Mouse, the House of Mouse, not the House of Representatives, the House of Mouse had been hatching a plan to retain its control over the land within the outer limits of Orange and Osceola, I may be saying that wrong, counties. On February 8th, the day before the Florida House voted to put DeSantis in charge, the previous Disney Allied Board, so is it saying they're no longer Disney Allied Board, signed a long-lasting development agreement that drastically limits the control that can be exercised over the company and its district. So we can definitely see why DeSantis and Disney are butting heads, you know what I'm saying? Now it says, as a part of the 30-year development agreement, Disney no longer needs board approval to build high-density projects or buildings of any height and can sell or assign development rights. It also bans the board from using Disney's name or any of its characters, which makes sense, that kind of makes sense to me. It says the agreement includes a royal clause. This part is weird. That dates back to 1692 in Britain and would extend its term limit for decades. Now it says this declaration shall continue in effect until 20 years after the passing of the last survivor of the descendants of King Charles III. Okay, are any of y'all a little confused? What does King Charles III in Britain have to do with Disney in Florida? Unless, what does the family have to do with Disney? I didn't think Disney. We'll see. Maybe it'll let us know. But it says this kind of clause is most often used in the UK, typically when it comes to trusts, and provides a buffer against perpetuities. So as long as one of those grandchildren makes it to 80, this clause would be there for 100 years. It says DeSantis replaced all of the Disney Ally Board members with 5 Republicans February 27th. It was only then that Disney's new binding agreement was discovered. The clause was so obscure that several journalists who attended the meeting didn't pick up on it. Man, he's really coming at Disney, y'all. This is kind of crazy. I would feel like, man, I would be kind of, if I was in Florida, especially living in Florida, I would be kind of scared to come at Disney. You already know how much money they have, how much political power they have in the United States and everything like that. Hey, but I mean, Ron DeSantis clearly has a lot of political power too as well, and that's why he is the second best contender for the Republican presidential power. Now, they said this essentially makes Disney the government. Yeah, if you have enough money, you pretty much can affect the laws to a point where you become the representatives. One of the new board members appointed by the CFTOD by DeSantis said at the meeting, this board loses for practical purposes the majority of its ability to do anything beyond maintain the roads and maintain basic infrastructure. Now, they didn't respond to requests for comment. You guys know that are all here. I hate when CNBC says that. They're never going to respond for comment. When they want to talk to CNBC, they literally have one of their representatives go and reach out and give CNBC something. I don't know why they say it. It's almost like every CNBC article says this. Sorry, guys. I'm not trying to rant. It's just annoying because it happens all the time. It's just a waste of everyone's time, energy, and effort. Now, it says Florida legislators have balked at the new agreement, vowing to find a legal way to repeal or void the document. However, Disney says all of its conduct was legal. It says all agreements signed between Disney and the district were appropriate and were discussed and approved in an open, noticed public forum in compliance with Florida's government and the Sunshine Law, Walt Disney World Resort pretty much said. Now, it says the district in question is Reedy Creek Improvement District, which was also established in 1967. It was created by the Florida legislators so Disney could develop the infrastructure for Walt Disney at no cost to Florida taxpayers. Interesting. Pretty interesting stuff. Now, the arrangement allowed Disney to build theme parks, hotels, and other tourist experiences within the Reedy Creek District with no oversight, which makes a lot of sense. Like I said, they have so much money. They have a lot of power within the government of Florida. So, they don't want people watching over them. And with as much money as they bring into Florida through tourism, no one's going to speak up. But looks like now somebody has decided to speak up. Now it says, according to the minutes, board president Larry Hames asked if there were any business to discuss the close. Okay. And yes. So I want to know what you guys think about this and everything, this whole Ron DeSantis versus Disney type of thing. Do you guys think Disney should be able to have this much power within Florida? Or do you think, hey, you guys aren't the government just because you have money, you shouldn't be able to have be able to have a say in the law? You know what I'm saying? Or are you guys on the other side and you're saying, hey, they pretty much run this state. They're the reason why Florida even receives so much money, so they should be able able to have a say in the way that it's governed, and they should be able to have some some breaks or tax breaks, things like that, or basically be able to have certain special rules for them because they bring so much to the state. I want to know what you guys think about that. It's kind of the difference between, if you're for people being able to lobby and influence government, or if you think the government should not be able to be influenced and should just be able to make decisions just strictly off the facts. So let me know what you guys think about that and everything like that. Also, of course, like, comment, subscribe, help the channel grow, and to help push these videos and stuff and these live streams out to more people. Now, the next topic